What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog, coming to you from the cold tundras of the Carolinas, where the pipes are bursting and it's freezing and there's all hell breaking loose. Out here, about to fall out of my chair. Dr. Dix, you know what time it is. They call us the reality twins, but it is what it is. So it is Tuesday, you guys. We were going to talk about automated McDonald's. Job losses, things will get worse for the unprepared in 2023. The funny thing is, you guys send us so many links, so much data that it helps us make our show. But before we start, Dr. Dix, please explain to who you are, why they call you the king of automation, and let's get to it.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Patrick Dix coming from South Carolina. I wrote my dissertation on automation. As you all know, if you have not been listening to the show, the title of it is The Automation of Manufacturing and the Potential Effects on Rural Communities in South Carolina. I just posted on my Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. I am featured on PBS in March 2023. We filmed it back in September. So you can go and follow me at King of Automation on Instagram. You can follow me at Dr. Patrick Dix. And those are the best ways to reach out to me. And also, I place my Calendly link in the chat. So we're here again to break the reality to y'all. And I know this was a rough weekend for everybody with the cold and everything else going on.
So the crazy part, someone said, "What's up, Charles Ogilvy, Todd Billionaire? What's good?" I'm in the cold tundra of the mountains of North Carolina, which should be used to the cold, but they somehow have busted pipes and stuff going on up here. All the hotels are full. We just out here trying to snowboard and live our best lives. That's all we trying to do out here, you know. So what is good, everybody? So as you can tell, Dr. Dix and me are going to be talking about several topics tonight, and the articles that you're looking for, they are in the description at all times. We always put them in the description. So kicking off tonight's goal, Goldman Sachs plans to cut thousands of workers. Here are other major U.S. companies that made the cuts in 2022, from Amazon to Twitter. That's Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon. Right now, let me get on down here. And it says here, a wave of layoffs swept across American businesses in 2022. It cut stem from slower business growth paired with rising labor costs. The layoffs span across industries, from mortgage lending to digital payment processing. Now, kick it off. Amazon joins them with 10,000 workers. Twitter laid off 50% of its staff, but let's really be honest. I know people who work at Twitter. It was like 75%. So that's a whole nother conversation. Even traditionally layoff resistant companies like Netflix made cuts. They saw pandemic era boom, like Shopify cutting hundreds of jobs. And let's see, this one, Stellantis, I'm saying it wrong, cut 1,350 factory workers. Headspace Health cut 4% of its workers. Goldman Sachs, 4,000 employees. Morgan Stanley, 1,600 employees. We go here, CNN cut hundreds of staffers. BuzzFeed, 12% of its employees. Pepsi Cola, hundreds of its workers. Let's keep going. Carvana, listen, there's a whole theory with Carvana being a pump and dump scheme on the stock market with loans and all this stuff. Go watch Diamond Dave from Shark Stocks, but he might just have a channel as Diamond Dave Stocks. Super interesting commentary he's doing on this. Amazon laid off as many as 10,000 employees. DoorDash, 1,250 employees. H&M Group, not saying the exact number. Elderman, yeah, that's what it says. And Juul, oh, that's so it's 400 people. It's an e-cigarette company, plans to lay off 1/3 of its workforce. See, they couldn't get y'all off them cigarettes. They know in a recession, y'all go back to the real thing. Y'all like, give me the cigarette. Coinbase has about 1,000 employees plus another 60 people. Redfin, 13% of its staff. Meta, more than 11,000 employees. I know they hot with him right now. Salesforce, 2,500 employees. Twitter, 50% of its workforce. Already went over that. And Gap, 500 jobs. Now, here's the thing, y'all. We can keep going down the line. This is a long list. Wayfair, you name it, they're in here. But this is what you guys got to understand. A lot of these companies are on the stock market exchange. So every time it's that end of the year, they cut staff, they cut labor costs. So what? They look decent to their shareholders. Okay, they get the numbers back right. So let me go through here. Y'all are commenting about the big, yeah, lots of cuts. Let me see what else. Yeah, Meta's trash. A lot of diversity jobs were cut. Hope they save those checks. Well, even here's the thing too. I want people to understand is several companies wrote an article. They don't have to hire you in the office for diversity. They can hire you remotely for diversity and still say they have a X amount of black people working at there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They can do that. They can do that, and it still counts. So Dr. Dix, what is your thoughts on all this wave of employment coming through? Some of these folks are not ready. Some of these folks are not paying attention to the changing climate. What are some of your thoughts?
My thoughts are no one is really safe right now, and as I listed in the title, preparation is key. You have to stay about 10 steps ahead of the competition because any company could lay people off. And I know the diversity thing, I'm just going to be honest, and it probably is going to upset people with the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I hate to say this, but a lot of that stuff is slowly going away. It was a money grabbing scheme. A lot of companies are really getting back to real business, and many people don't want to hear that. But we have people that are not working. We have an economy that's moving forward, but slowly at a standstill. And we really have to get back to the foundation of American society. I mean, just think about it. Technology doesn't care about diversity. We're going to talk about that automated McDonald's. That McDonald's does not care about DEI. You know what they did? They built it and said it's automated. There's your solution to a lot of your problems. So everybody has to prepare. Just remember, just because you're a certain gender or race, it does not matter anymore. You can feel the same thing. Sexual orientation does not matter. Everybody is going to feel the same problems in life. So that's my 2 cents on it.
So yes, someone said a friend of mine was making 200K at Google and doing nothing, and she was mad and left. Dumb a. And the funny thing is, a lot of these workers. I know some guy right now working for Dell. He's been working from home for over 10 years, Doctor Dix, and I would say barely does 3 hours a day. I was like, at some point, somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, it's a wrap." It's a wrap. And it cracks me up because it's easier for them to see productivity time, how much it costs to keep certain employees. Some of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff is coming around. Now, listen, remote work is very, listen, companies to make their numbers to get what they need done are still going to hire people, and they're going to be hiring remote workers. We actually have several people we're bringing on the channel in the spring talking about remote work. But yeah, companies right now in the fall, they're gonna pare back just enough to see how well they can run even with short staff.
Yep, that's true. They're the rule of business is to do more with less. So the holiday season, as it is it's pretty much almost 2023. Um, is pretty much where we're at right now. Once we go to the other articles, I sent that article to show everyone that no company is really just not avoiding what's happening. They are slashing jobs, and a lot of these were the jobs when the money came in from 2020, when they were sending all these money to these companies for DEI and everything else. That's gone away. So we have to get back. I saw in the comment to the bare bones society. Yeah. Oh, perfect comment. Nadia Price, the sympathy that was given during the height of the pandemic is no longer. Too many people failed to take advantage of yesteryear. So that's a perfect comment. I just read it, and that's pretty much where we're at right now. It's gone back to the foundational skill set. What do you have to offer America? So that's where we're at right now.
Well, and also salespeople. Salespeople stay on. Salespeople keep a job. You know why? Because they can measure the metrics of what you're doing. Some of this other stuff they're having a hard time measuring metrics. Peloton letting go 4,600 people. To me, Peloton. What was the craze for bikes after we were able to go out of the house and go to the gym? There was
Yep.
none. There was this big push. Oh, we're going to keep all these people. What?
Mhm.
They literally said this is the final phase of the company's transition journey. What does that mean? They fired 2,800 people in February, and then they fired off another 4,600 this year. So what does that mean? Uh, what does their company transition to? Shopify
Yeah,
laid off 1,000 workers. I mean, these are 7-Eleven 880 jobs. If they could keep one person in the convenience store, they would do it. They would get away with it if they could. But go ahead.
yeah. I was going to say about Peloton. How many people? I think a Peloton bike was about $5,000, and then you had to pay, what was it,
Subscription.
$40? Yeah, the subscription fee. So they were overpricing their cost analysis, and their model was, well, you could pay $5,000 right now, and it's just about the same as a gym membership. But as we saw, Erica, like you just mentioned, this the economy opened back up in 2021, and people were like, "I'm tired of being in the house around my animals and my kids and my other folks staying here. Let me get out." And that was the end.
Pretty much. Listen, as they say, Florida and Texas, we were always open. But y'all saw Atlanta. Don't let Atlanta slide by that they didn't get any discipline on that. That they were outside. Sherry, people who can sell or create a product we paid. Sherry, let me tell you something. Then when they ask me what the wealth transfer is, the wealth transfer is you taking your money you made at work and giving it to a business owner or giving it to your landlord who owns your property, giving it to someone else because you don't have a product or service or a business, aka indirect service that you can get that money from. So it just is what it is. Somebody said
Yeah.
remote is safer. Too many crazy out there. I mean, again, a company is going to do the math. If I can't get out of my office lease, if we got to pay for this office lease, y'all coming to this office, that kind of thing.
Mhm. Well, now is the time that everybody should look at your job and look at your financial situation and just think about where you're at, and where you want to go. Just prepare for 2023, and just think about life. That comes to preparedness. There's an article that we have about being prepared. So really think about your life, cut dead weight off, get rid of family members, get rid of your dog, your cat. A lot of people have animals. I don't know if people know, but it's expensive to take an animal to the vet. Animal is just expensive. It's just as expensive as a person.
Right.
People want to say, I want to bond with my animal. Well, when you take your dog or cat to the vet, and there's a $2,000 or $3,000 bill, that's just as much as somebody going to the doctor, a human. So you really got to you really have to trim the fat, and people really need to realize that. um that's pretty much all I have to bit my tongue. That's all I have to say about that, because I have a lot of talking to do about the other articles once we go
For
through them.
sure. Every grocery store has a self checkout. Costco and Aldi's have a self checkout, means a lot of
Mhm.
jobs are going to get cut. Yeah, people really don't understand. Like, I went to Food Line the other day when I was in another part of North Carolina, and the lady had a fat face tattoo, Dr. Diggs. And people, somebody might judge me, but I was sitting there like, when did you get out the gang life? I'm glad she got a job. No problem. I'm glad. And this white lady with the face tattoo. I was like, okay, sis, you down for somebody's cause. And so then I'm telling her, yeah, I would like 2 bags, yada yada. And she's like, 2 bags of ice? I'm like, who would be getting ice this early in the morning? No, girl. 2 bags to put my stuff in. And it just was like, for a second, doctors, I was like, this is the simplest conversation at 9 in the morning. Like, how are we going wrong here, right? And my thoughts are, I was at a Food Line that didn't have a self checkout. I was like, dang, where the self checkout? They didn't have one. So they had 3 ladies working, but the other Food Line down the street had a self checkout. And I'm like, if I was a consumer who just wants to run in and out of the store, I'm gonna go to the self checkout one. I'm just
Hmm.
gonna save the time. I'm gonna save the time. I'm gonna save the interaction. All that. I ain't even gonna be bothered because
Well,
they're training us to do that.
the one I go to in Columbia, South Carolina, has
Hmm.
four. There's one in Casey. It has about four, and you could take your alcohol there. The only thing will happen is there'll be an attendant, and they'll just come check your ID. That's it. Otherwise, you can just scan your groceries, like you said. 7 in the morning. I'm not trying to talk to nobody. I get my coffee or my meat or my cook, in and out, and gone.
There you go. There you go. Somebody said I thought Peloton was a scam. Here's the thing. People wanted that gym experience. There's a big bicycle culture, workout culture, and people wanted the experience. Same thing like Orange Theory and stuff like that. And that's where that Peloton kind of had it. And like, they had one guy that's like a personality. Uh, he's an LGBT member, but he's hilarious. And people kept making these clips on him. And I was like, where can I find this guy? Of course, Peloton. So
Hmm.
it's one of those things. Let me see what else y'all got in here. Food Line, East Coast. You already know.
Yeah,
Somebody
Food
said our
Line is.
animals in the hood never went to the vet. Them dogs in the hood were limping, falling all over the place. Probably had cancer. Don't ever know what's wrong with them dogs in the hood.
And they live longer than
They
anybody.
live longer than everybody. That's the crazy part. We were driving through a part of Texas, and there were so many dogs on the street. I was like, how are y'all functioning out here? This just it's like, it's one of those things that they make jokes about dogs in the hood, but we were out there like, this is not normal to have every street have 2-3 dogs just living their best life, La Vida Loca, walking around. I couldn't understand at all. I just really couldn't understand. And so that, I'm sorry, I had to calm down. But that's a part of what it was. I was like, why is these dogs so free out here? Uh yeah, okay, let me go on over to your other article we had set aside.
Yeah, I see the comment. Oregon, yeah, Oregon, New Jersey is like that too. You can't pump your own gas. Somebody did a
Mm-hmm.
super chat. I don't know why. I read up on it.
That's
It's
funny.
really, to me, crazy, but I don't know why. But here, it's crazy why you can't pump your gas in New Jersey.
Well, listen, they're creating job security. They ain't care what y'all talking about. Uber in 15 years give you a choice: automated driver or human driver. Most likely. Lizzo
And
does promote Peloton. They came over there and got a sponsorship out of Lizzo and some other artists with their songs and subscriptions. Like, it makes a whole workout session. Yeah, you know what? We did stop in Oregon and we could not pump our gas. I don't remember us pumping our gas. Um, look. Will said those dogs don't live longer. They just get secretly replaced by a similar looking dog. That I could believe. I could believe that. Okay, so this is the McDonald's. You guys have been seeing it on the news. They've actually, there's no people. There's somebody in the back manning the machines, basically, Dr. Dix. But they're testing it out. This is not the picture of the same McDonald's, but it's in Fort Worth Metroplex. The machines do everything. See, look at this. You come in, you give the machine some money. You get a little piece of paper says when you get your stuff. And in here it says inside the restaurant, there are delivery pickup room for couriers to receive orders quickly and conveniently. There are also kiosks where customers can place their to-go orders. A pickup shelf for orders. Outside the restaurant, there are several parking spaces dedicated to curbside order pickup, as well as designated park space for deliveries. This is hoping design will allow employees to concentrate more on speed and accuracy. Now, how much speed and accuracy do you need to get rid of every single person in a restaurant? If we throwing kiosks in here, there's only one or two people in the back. And what are they doing? Are they checking food quality? What are they doing?
just manage the machines, and that's about it. But that's the stuff I wrote about in my research, and this is the stuff I've been telling people since 2018. For low wage skill people, for people that think, oh, I'm gonna just argue about $19 an hour, here's your replacement. And they're testing this and see what McDonald's gonna do. They're gonna get some of their franchisees, they're gonna license it to them and say, you're gonna have to put half of your store automated and half of it with workers. They're going to be kiosks. They're not in every store yet, but they're going to be kiosk in every McDonald's. And what's going to happen to cut down on thefts? Talk about late at night, right here. There's no cash being exchanged. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the future, people. You're here. This is just McDonald's. Wendy's is going to do this. Hardee's is going to do this. This is coming, and many people, like I said, are not prepared, thinking it's a joke. The pharmacies are going to be automated. They don't have pharmacists. They don't have a lot of people working a lot of jobs. So they're going to build off this ideal that McDonald's has, and they're going to mass produce this. And this is the end of fast food workers.
What I noticed is, when they had McDonald's had that the what is it, the millionaire, where they played the it's like a little monopoly board and you could win
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
And there kept being story after story of people, basically the workers in the back, peeling off stickers, massively numbers of stickers, like peeling them off, and I guess kind of assigning themselves the winner, right? Or
Hmm.
that the whole restaurant was speaking Spanish and no one was speaking English, and how they basically were kind of locking down that industry. At the end of the day, like, they still didn't improve the performance of the store. I apologize,
Hmm.
Dr. Dix. They didn't improve the performance of the store because you would go to the store and still have the same issues. The other day we were getting P. Terry's in Texas, which really was last week. And the girl at the window could barely speak English, but I noticed they do that. The girl taking the order speaks English just fine. Younger Hispanic teenager. The girl at the window is like, "Here's your food," and you ask him
Hmm.
anything, and she's like, uh. Like, wait. I'm like, special sauce in the bag. Yes. It's like, oh my god. So even when they tried to go cheaper with the labor, it still had hiccups. So now they're like, hey, you know what? Touch the kiosk. Tell the kiosk what you want on your sandwich. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Touch the picture. If you can't touch the picture and order your sandwich, it's gonna be a rough day. Um,
That mean if you're illiterate, you still can order food from
that's
McDonald's.
right. Even if you can't read, you can order food from McDonald's. That's the crazy part.
Mm-hmm.
We should be ensuring that. But that also, when I think about it, when you go overseas to like Korea, parts of Europe, like they sometimes have pictures in some of those places, but not this bad. But it is one of those things. But go ahead.
But but the big thing about this is, other stores are gonna copy this. I just was saying that, and it's gonna get scary for a lot of people. Oh, so in these areas, just like I was talking about with the police force with a RoboCop, these very, very tough areas in these urban cities or country cities that have crime, they'll
Hmm.
say, "Oh, we could take, how we could fix all this? We're gonna put an automated restaurant there. You don't have to worry about that. You won't have to worry about people
Yep.
getting shot. You
And
won't
then
have to worry about."
that cuts all those jobs out from those poor
Yep.
people in that neighborhood.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about coming in there fighting somebody bringing a glass bottle or streaming on TikTok. And before you know it, what they'll do, they'll mow down the old Walmart, not the old Walmart. They'll mow down the McDonald's or reconfigure it, D&D as they call it.
Hmm.
And they'll say in these rough areas, hold up, McDonald's and Wendy's will say, hold up, you're telling me we could save all the workers' lives? Yeah, there's nothing to rob. You can't even get inside. And if something tears up, they'll just stop production that night and they'll have some techs come in and fix it the next morning. And that's it.
And that's the sad part is they're cutting so many jobs from people in those neighborhoods. So they're really a drain on those neighborhoods. They're not
Yep.
giving them fresh food, fresh services. They're really just taking money out of those communities and putting it in the pocket of different types of companies, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Uh,
the areas will lose a lot of business. No, they fight at I see somebody say they fight at McDonald's too, not just Popeyes. And so
they
yeah,
fight all over the place. Right
yeah.
here, Credit Solutions says, I went to Michael's craft store the other day. They had 4 self-out cash checkout kiosks and 1 cashier. He told everybody to go to the self checkout. I live in a small town in VA. Automation is here. See, this is the silly part. He telling people to go to the checkout machine, probably because his manager told him to tell him to go to the checkout machine.
Mm-hmm.
And he's literally erasing his own job. He's getting rid of his own job, where they might just have a manager in the store. That's it. The manager in the store walks around the store, make sure y'all check out, y'all ain't stealing nothing, and keep on going about their day. Now you see how they tried to play Walmart. They said, "Hey, if y'all keep stealing out of these WalMarts, we might just have to close these WalMarts." Now they ain't gonna close them, but they sure enough they're gonna make it very hard to get in there to get anything
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
eventually.
and the poor people that live in those areas are going to be the ones that really catch trouble. I mean, if you go into one of those Walmarts, like I was saying at the food line, you're going to have to show ID for alcohol, but the robberies and the criminal factors of a lot of things. This is how a company could pitch to a city for tax dollars to say we could lower crime. They're going to say, how
Mm-hmm.
can you lower crime? We'll automate the restaurant. They're saying you're serious. Yes. What about the workers? The workers won't be in harm's way because everything is fully automated. They can move to the next McDonald's to work to, and they'll say, what about when they automate that one? We'll just keep moving them to McDonald's until they're all automated. Well, what do we do? Well, hopefully by then they have a different skill set or something.
Yeah, there's
They'll
404 people here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. If you enjoy the content we're giving you, put a 1 in the comments. So, first of all, someone said that McDonald's in Fort Worth is on the awful side of town. Well, some of the solution. Oh, people hanging out in the parking lot, people loitering, kids hanging out because stuff happening. No worry, we're going to change the whole store to automation. You can't really hang out. The parking lot spots are for curbside pickup only. So you can't be just sitting in the parking lot spots because then the police officer can come by. Are you here to pick up something? Take your rump on. That's some
mm-hmm.
of what's going to be played out in this scenario, even if it is on the bad side of Fort Worth. Um, Someone said I knew automation was coming when fast food workers were protesting for $20 an hour. I knew it, and I said, "Ooh, they not even ready." Because I mean, there was literally one guy they used as the face for one of these protests, and he was a military veteran. He's like, "I just want to cook for people. I love cooking for people," and I was like, baby, you arguing for $20 at KFC? Like, if you want to cook for people and you're a veteran, work that angle and go work in one of these restaurants. They will hire you because they're all about I hired a veteran, we put him through chef school, all that whole scenario. But to say that at KFC, come on, man. Even if you said it at like a buffet place, I'd have been more on your side, brother. But KFC,
Speaking of that, anybody old enough to go to the KFC when they had the buffet, a Pizza Hut buffet?
woo, I didn't even remember that. What years was that?
I remember Pizza Hut in Aiken, South Carolina, where I live close to, Pizza Hut had a buffet. They had
Mm-hmm.
in Orangeburg, well, they had a KFC with a buffet. And I know some of the people in the chat remember the KFC and Pizza Hut having the buffet. So that's very old. That tells you how old I am.
Very old. 2020, I bought a vending machine and filled it with face masks, placed it at a car wash, and was clearing about $70 a day. I'm working on scaling that move. Man, you can switch it up. It don't have to be face mask. It can be hand sanitizer. It can be gloves. You name it. Disinfectant wipes. People be needing that stuff. Lady products. If you notice, if you
Mhm.
go to the airport now, they got all these vending machines. CVS said y'all not gonna stop going to them. Y'all gonna give them y'all money. So I go in the
Yeah.
mall. CVS has 2 or 3 vending machines. I was like, Walgreens, you better catch up. Well, CVS go get in these airports. You're gonna buy this stuff.
Yeah.
It's
I,
very crazy.
I took a picture of the one in the Atlanta airport. In a mall in Columbia, they actually got a vending machine that sells hair extensions. Is that what it called?
Hair
Bundles?
extensions, bundles,
Oh,
bundles.
yeah, I got a
Yeah,
picture of it. Yeah, they selling bundles in the Columbia, South Carolina mall. That's a whole nother
hey,
conversation. But
they said we're gonna get this money. McDonald's across the street from me has the same setup, only 3 people working there. Somebody said, I wonder if the ice cream machine worked. This is the crazy part. Some man went behind the register and got himself a McFlurry. And then the manager come running out. Hey, stop it, get out of here. He said you said the ice cream machine didn't work, and the stuff went viral. But I'm like, first of all, this is a quick way to get knocked upside your head going behind the counter.
mhm.
2, we all know the ice cream machines work. They just don't want to clean them. That's just is what it is. I get it.
Somebody, I'm sorry, somebody country here. I remember the buffet was popular to Carolinas. Livers and gizzards. Yeah, KFC had livers and
Yeah.
gizzards,
Oh,
and I
they still
used to
got
tear
gizzards.
them up.
They still
I
got
tear
gizzards in
them up.
certain locations. We
Whoever
drive
who
through one little small town. My mom picked me up. I said, gizzards? KFC? Them things was tough as steel. I said, what in the world?
I like them
This is
because they're
crazy.
chewy. I like gizzards and French fries. You put some Texas Pete hot sauce in the clear pack on the gizzards and livers. I'm back there like a little kid chewing on it, messing my teeth all up.
Oh, somebody said one of the reasons why I think people work in the majority of gas stations is because of cigarettes. Once those get automated, man. I said, I'm sure Starbucks is paying close attention. If Starbucks could get the machine to pour you your coffee the way y'all be ordering these ridiculous coffees, they would
Mhm.
do it.
Shit, let me meet me a country girl that say I like gizzards and livers. I'm like, I might have to handcuff your wrist. And then she like to
Oh, Lord.
cook that beef liver with the onions and make that roux with that grit with them Jim Dandy grits.
Dr. Dix is advertising online for any woman who can cook the gizzards. Please, he's advertising today. Please get him somebody.
Some of that IGA vegetable oil,
He
some of
would
that
like
country
some,
oil.
not that vegetable oil, terrible. No, get that Crisco in the cup, in the can, terribleness. They said even the Costco's almost out automated. Yeah, yeah. See, yeah, this is the thing, Sherry. Entry level jobs for teenagers and low income jobs are quickly going away. People had an opportunity to kind of build themselves up through work, through, going to the little job. Even when I go to Chick-fil-A, I love how they're training the young people at Chick-fil-A. Like, you can't say Chick-fil-A is not doing a great job.
Hmm.
Now, that one Chick-fil-A that was paying people in sandwiches, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. But in general, have a great training system for young people.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good. Chick-fil-A, like you said, yeah, the customer service is on point. Um, and that model where the franchisee made them work 3 days on, 3 days off. How I
Yep.
remember, that's gonna be the norm for Chick-fil-A. I can see it coming. Um, I like Zaxby too. Zaxby's too is pretty helpful. They're another place that's I've never gotten really bad service from a Zaxby's because they have young, energetic people. Is this all you need? And I like Zaxby's too.
Well, you have someone put in here, Waffle House employees should be in the military if the stores ever go automated. Those workers are battle ready. They got to stop. They
No,
got to
they
stop.
now I would fight against you. I ate the Waffle House Friday night when it was 13 degrees. I was tearing up that waffle and that and my favorite egg, the Fiesta omelet. Like, nah, y'all can automate everything else. You can't do Waffle House.
Well, look, this right here, organized retail crime is $100 billion. If they're able to stop that, they will make a lot of money. I mean, for real. That's the scary part. The scary part is the fact that these people are like dedicated. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really look at when I worked at Lowe's and the amount of groups that came in stealing gift cards, the
Mhm.
whole like I was like, y'all so smart to do all this. Y'all could run real companies. Y'all
Hmm.
could make your own real businesses. Y'all ain't got to come around here doing all this stealing. It's real crazy out here to me.
Yeah, yeah, stealing because that's one of the reasons now why they have the sensors. Um, oh, if you in the country, South Carolina, the Dollar General now have it to where if you open up the Tides pods, people would steal those. Now, if you get in certain things, you open up, it'll make the beep 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 noise. And I said, is this to prevent people from stealing? They say, yeah. We would have people come in the store in the back, tear open the thing, and get all the Tides pods and walk out.
That's insane.
Yes.
Somebody said KFC don't give a damn. He said that must be a South Carolina Kings. I don't remember North Carolina having it. Man, them little hole in the wall North Carolina towns with one Pizza Hut, they used to have them. I think very crazy. There was a KFC buffet in Fayetteville, so I'm not even gonna front you. They did have that in Fayetteville at lunchtime only though. Look, somebody said they had in the Ville. Don't be telling my town business. They did have that. Let me go to your other article here, Dr. Diggs. Boom. Okay. This is a unusual weekly earnings of wage and salary workers third quarter. All right, everybody. This is the news release from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Out of the nation's 120 full-time wage and salary workers were $1,070 a week. That was the average, basically, which is 6.9% higher than the year earlier. Now, look, I'm gonna read this. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna take it as a grain of salt. Median weekly earnings for full time workers was $1,070 a week. Women median weekly earnings were $971. Okay, which is 83% of what men work. Men make about $1,164 a week. Now they break it down for race. White women earn 83% of their male counterparts, compared to 90% for black women, 71% for Asian women, 86% for Hispanic women. Okay. So
Hmm.
these women are earning just as much. So I mean, people act like these women making money or these men making all that money. Yeah, that's not what the data say. These
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that's why I put an article. I'll let you read, and I want to show the paragraph. When people talk about education isn't important, we have a reputable source right here that'll show. It's a paragraph that talks about education attainment. Once you get to it,
Okay. Let me see here. Race and ethnicity. Again, the median weekly earning for the blacks is how they said it is 881. The Hispanics, they just have blacks, Hispanics. I'm sorry, y'all. 861. Working full-time jobs, white people were $1,100. Asians blowing everybody out the box, $1,442 a week. Let me see. Black men were on average making $9.22 a week versus white men making 1,192. Again, y'all don't get it twisted. People out here trying to make it like everybody's on the struggle bus. That's not true. Let me go up here. Oh, sorry, I'm slide up here.
well, the thing is that's 55,000. I did the math when I was looking at the article, so that's 55,640. What I want people to realize is this is earnings. This is before taxes or like any stuff may come out your check. So you have to remember, if you're a black male making 55,640 and your mortgage or rent is $2,000 a month, that leaves you 31,640 divided by 12. That leaves you about $2,600 a month to live off of. To me, that is not even a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not
even
that's
here, it talks about the educational standards. I don't know if you guys can see this. Of course, men in service occupations earn $770 a week. Women in those same kind of fields earn $659. Um, Again, professional people highest were earning 1,700. Now let's go down here to education. Now this is the old argument about college degrees and stuff like that. And again, it says the highest 10% of males workers with those with masters, professionals, doctorate degrees were making $4,527 per week, compared with $3,165 of their female counterparts, also with advanced degrees. Now, everybody else, over 25 years old, working without a high school diploma, average income was $692. Now, high school graduates, $866. Somebody who at least held a bachelor's degree, $1,500 a week. So, the numbers scatter there. Again, remember that's the top 10% with that 4 grand a week. But there is that same old saying, well, they have a master's degree or they have a professional degree or they're a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, or something. So again, most Americans make around that $1,000 mark. That's why you see most of these people's online courses and things they sell going about that 2 grand mark, 2-3 grand. Because then if not, people are using credit cards.
Yeah, the thing is, well, Uncle Akla, college is not. Yes, a plumber would make more money than you, but we're talking about the correct field. And as I said last week, our community is the only community that fusses with me. This is actual factual information. Now, we can go into 2023 in the years past thinking with that you will be obsolete in society. I don't care who you are. Without any kind of education, it is over for you. That's what some of the other articles was talking about, unprepared people. You can argue with me all you want to. Your counterparts are beating you 10-1 every day. When they automate the McDonald's, when they automate these fast food restaurants, when self-service takes over, what are you going to do? You can't rob and kill people because the average citizen now has a concealed weapons permit, so they will shoot back at you and they will not even prosecute them. So people tell me, what are you going to do if you don't have a skill or any kind of degree or some kind of blue collar certification? You're not going to make it. So if we keep thinking with that and thinking demand is oppressing us, it is not actually happening. You're oppressing yourself. You are about to run into a very, very thick wall. There are things I do that can be automated. That's why I'm preparing myself. Many of y'all are not going to make it. And many people are already on the train of being useless. There's no other way to say it. You keep thinking with that kind of mindset, they're going to gentrify your neighborhood and put these automated things there, and your cousins and your grandma, them, public transportation is going to be a thing of the past. I just want people to realize if they get rid of public transportation, so MTAs, wherever you're from, out, is over. You're not going to make it Baltimore, DC, Detroit, Atlanta, any of these places where people can't afford to have a car. Just look at, perfect example. That'll lead into the next thing, Ericka. Look at all the pipes busting in Atlanta. We
Oh
have
my
been talking.
gosh.
Yeah, so I put a post up on Instagram. All those blue collar people are about to make a lot of money. Drywall, electrical, plumbing. They can't have water and electricity. Water and electricity don't mix. So all those people, like Ericka was saying, buy a house, that live in an apartment, unless you have renter's insurance, all your shit is destroyed and it is done. You know how long you're going to have to fight with an insurance company, because y'all have to realize they're going to deal with the commercial people first.
Yep.
Then they're going to get to the residential. So all the people that were living in like the upscale apartments that could have afforded a house or said, I messed up so bad to where I can't get one. I want people to really think about, what are you going to do right now? Because I see videos of people dancing in their apartment
Oh
with the
my
water
God. I saw
flowing.
the black guy dancing in the water. Like,
Yes.
I was like, y'all, it's funny, but it's sad because it's like he's trying to, it's like getting attention in the middle of a hurricane. Why are you doing that? Right. Uh,
Yeah.
it's really interesting some of the stuff I see people doing on the internet today. They're changing driver's license now, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to automate the sale of cigarettes. Oh yeah, like when I go to the airport, they just slide it on the machine, slide your little driver's license, and they go about their day. They want to make sure you have those new ones.
Yep.
Learn
It's
the skill or take the deal. I mean, if you are a plumbing, anything, anything right
drywall.
now in Atlanta,
Oh,
drywall, carpet, look, carpet replacement,
you got it.
restoration, serve
Fern
pro, you're rich this year.
a mover right now, because you got to move that
Yep.
furniture,
Got to move
because
the stuff out.
the worst thing that can happen now, water breeds mold, so they got to get the
Yep.
stuff clean. You cannot have black mold coming to a building. It is now a health hazard. So all those people whose furniture is destroyed. So basically, those people in Atlanta are going to have enough work to last them probably till sometime next year. If
Oh
not,
yes.
because the plumbers and those blue collar people, I bet their phone is like
Vibrating off the chain.
they can't even, they got to turn away work. And my bad, Ericka, y'all forgetting the people that are for letting the border stay open. Filipio, them that coming through the border can do all of that. I'm just using a name.
He said
Jesus.
Filipio. I can't. I've
I'm
never heard of a Filipio.
Jesus,
Julio,
who
anybody. Thank you.
my
Sorry,
bad.
go
Jesus and all those immigrants.
ahead.
I I want people to really think about this. They can train them very quickly to learn how to do that kind of stuff. And the people that y'all, many people don't want to do those jobs. Those apartment buildings, they got to get them back up and running. And they cut. The thing is about an apartment building, with the main water vat, with the main stuff coming into it. If you cut the water off for certain apartments, they got to cut it off for all. So now they got to pay to relocate people. I
Well,
mean, that's gonna be a mess.
Dr. Dix, this is some of the stuff I thought about too. All those Airbnb
Mm-hmm.
situations in Atlanta, all those empty apartments in some of these new construction buildings. There's no way the maintenance crew was able to run around the building, warming up all these apartments, opening up cabinets, making sure these pipes work. Because we've seen them. We've seen new construction buildings that just don't have enough, don't have a lot of people living in them.
Mm-hmm.
And so even I remember seeing Las Vegas, water was pouring everywhere from a flash flood. And so it's like, if you have skills, for sure, or if you're the man or woman who can take payments from insurance, and you
Mm-hmm.
hire guys who can do the work, you're going to be paid. It just is what it is.
But
Those are skill based.
the thing is, I did everything I could do at my house, and my water still froze. I'm gonna be honest. There was nothing the people in Atlanta could have did. They could have opened up their faucets full throttle. I mean, when it gets 12, when it gets 8 degrees, there's not much you could really do, and
Mm-hmm.
especially when the pipes are exposed to the elements. A lot of those people is not their fault. A lot of the commercial buildings, there was nothing nobody could do, because Atlanta is not like up north where they build stuff differently. There was nothing nobody really could do. I just pray and hope, my water unfroze after a couple of hours, but the people over there was nothing they could have did. They could have had the water flowing all night. It still was
Mm-hmm.
going to freeze. They did what they could.
Right. John said, "I'm white and I love gizzards." Thank you for the $2 super chat. People that act like they don't like gizzards, I don't trust you because you're lying for the internet. Oh, people eating chitlins. Someone put in the comments about chitlins. Yes,
You,
we
I,
sampled chitlins for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
yeah, I eat.
Well, for Christmas.
There's a and Sally. If any of y'all on here, every Thanksgiving there's a place called Sally, South Carolina. It's about 25 minutes from my house. They have the chitlin strut, to where they have people come from all over the United States. I'm not lying about this. You could pull it up. The chitlin strut in Sally, South Carolina.
The
So,
chitlin strut in Sally, South Carolina. I'm
yep,
scared of what that is even going
it's
on
the
there.
Friday. It's the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving every year. That's called a chitlin strut.
Someone said Japan has hot coffee and tea and vending machines. Oh, they sure do. I hope it doesn't get more dangerous. Well, this is my thing. I just read an article of Dr. Dix about black women buying guns by the truckloads. It was in reference to that black girl who the two girls followed her home to try to rob her, and she tat 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 tatted that butt up, and that girl hit her right in the leg. Girl fell down. Um, it was saying black women are buying guns at huge numbers, and I'm telling y'all, what happens is we end up living in the squeeze communities. Elderly looking for the cheaper rent, the ladies, single moms. Like I posted the article about the single mom who she gave her children the cell phone, and he bought four, or like, what do you call the iPad? He bought
Mhm.
$400 in rollerbox, if y'all know what I'm talking about. And she was like, I'm trying to get my money back. That's all I had in savings. I'm like, $400? And the child has access to it shouldn't even be in your debit account. It should be in another account. It's gonna get crazy out there. It's really gonna get crazy out there.
Yeah, it is, and yeah, everybody just prepare. Yeah, I remember you showing us that video about those two girls trying to rob the people in the apartment
Mm-hmm.
building. And it's very, very serious out here. 2023 is going to be the year. That's why I put in there 2023. If you're unprepared, this article here Ericka has up is about 7 jobs, but there's also an article about unprepared people. But I'm telling y'all, if you're not prepared, I put that on the Facebook post when I shared it with people about the PBS thing. The days of being unprepared, playing around are over, and you're going to start to see the anguish in people's faces. Many people want
Oh
a
yeah.
holiday. Many people want a holiday break. I'm gonna say this: many of the people that want a holiday break, you've been breaking your whole life. If you've ever noticed, the people that complain about they need a break are the people that are the brokest. You need to be working in your sleep if you don't have any money. I'm sorry to say it like that, but
They're working it. Listen, here I gotta read this. Perkins plans life. It says, I like Ericka and Dr. Dix say, as soon as you find out, figure it out. My eyes almost fell out when I sat in the meeting at my job asking my opinion on how to automate my job. See, these jobs is bold. They bold and disrespectful. They'll ask you right in your face, how can we get the hell rid of you? Like, or
Mm-hmm.
even when people had to train their replacements. I remember hearing the horror stories of factory workers saying how they had to retrain their replacements. And so it's like, they don't care about you. You should be looking for work. Um, you know, listen, you should be looking for work where you're in competition, where not where you're just a number. And it's not always everybody's not going to get those jobs at the beginning, but when you figure out like, hey, I've got kids, a family, I need to be finding opportunities to make income for myself. You got to get on it. Got to
Mm-hmm.
get on it.
You do. I've been saying that for the past 7 times that I've been coming on. Think about your job, and if it could be automated, you either A, got to figure out how to get out of it, or B, figure out how to get a different skill set, because your company will screw you over. The pandemic, a lot of people thought their jobs were going to stay here. Once they got rid of them, they're like, nah, don't come back. We'll automate it. You want to call in, you want to play games, well, we'll automate it. So like you were just saying, Ericka, companies are bold. They'll do it right in front of your face. Like, how do we figure out how to do this? Oh, well, we don't need you.
Man, there's
And that's
510 people here. The best thing y'all can do for me is hit the like button or drop a one in the comments so that you enjoy me and Mr. Dick's show. Dr. Dick, this Shannon, this is exactly what they did. They steal from one Lowe's, return it at
hmm
another Lowe's, get a store credit, and sell the cars in the parking lot. Man, they do a lot of that. They
I
do a
never figured
lot of
out.
that.
I never figured out how the people did. It's ingenious though how to do the gift card stealing.
Mm-hmm. That's basically what they end up doing. Um, Let me see. Oh gosh, I got so much in here. Oh, Dr. Dix, I can't remember. It was something I saw the other day. It was paying 50K. I said, if they're paying 50K for that, baby, they're desperate for people. I was literally telling my significant other in the car, I was like, if they're paying people 50K for that, oh, it's crazy. So there's stuff out here that's happening.
hmm
They said you need to make 150 before taxes and make 100K. Man, she said, I don't believe in the government numbers. So here's the thing, you guys. I know everybody gets real sensitive about the government numbers because they're the numbers we have to go by. But 99% of this stuff is you are supplying the information, your company supplying the information. You're cross supplying the information when you do your taxes. Then, on top of that, when you're buying stuff and running money in and out your bank accounts, the information is also supplied there. So, yes, why do you think they wanted to get that Cash App money? Because they're like, I know y'all got some more money out here, right? They know enough people still have a lot of cash out in the marketplace. That's why when you see some of these flea markets in Austin, Texas, the minority flea market for the Hispanic folks, they got gun guys out there all over that bad boy because they know there's so much cash being moved around. They're ripe for robbing.
Exactly. Yeah, there's another article too about people running out of cash that we'll get to, but people, I'm just telling everybody, this is going to be a 2023, as we've stated. If you prepare, this is going to be a walk in the park. For those of you who haven't, it's like stepping up to the plate swinging, and you're probably going to strike out. I just don't think people realize how the influx of technology is going to accelerate very fast, because you have to think about it. In 2020, we had the pandemic. 21, we had it. 22, they were able to perfect it. They're going to start to execute, and jobs are going away. We have people that are on YouTube. Y'all know we got a lot of these YouTube channels, people not talking about anything. If y'all don't see what's coming on, a lot of the ways people make money doing nothing are going to go away. It's going to
Mhm.
come down to, do you know what you're doing? Can you execute? Just don't think people are on the internet talking, making money. Most of them are not, but the days of that are slowly coming to an end. So that.
Dr. Dix, I just had a really great conversation earlier today with someone for like an hour. We were talking about how 99% of people come online when they're not on YouTube or TikTok or places goofing off, and they look for a job. They look like Indeed commercials. They're all the memes of like, I'm looking for a better job. I'm looking for a better job. People stay looking for jobs. So if you're in a position to hire, it really is the world is your oyster. They're making it like, oh, none of these business owners can find workers. Listen, if you start putting an ad out there today, hey, I'm going to train on the job, or we're going to send you to school for this, and in exchange, you work for us for X amount of months. Those people are their phones are going to ring off the hook because a lot of the stuff people don't want to start a business starter dicks. They want to just show up to a job, tell them you're going to pay them, and they go home. That's what they want. So
Yeah.
I'm just telling you guys, don't fight what people want. Like a lot of people are unprepared and they're going to stay that way. So how can we serve them? indirectly serve them and have a business out of it. That's the truth.
Yeah, what you've been saying, Erica, people are comfortable getting $15 an hour, getting off work, drinking Hennessy, Aristocrat. I'm about to name some old school names, Canadian Club, getting that Seagram's gin and getting their orange juice bright and early, sitting behind the building and getting some Roger Wood sausage and cooking every weekend. Some people, like you said, don't want to get out of that or getting their
Mhm.
Bud Light, Bush Light, doing whatever. And then they're going to be a group of people that just, trying to change and they want to change and need the help. But 97% of people don't want to do anything. They're cool making $15 an hour. They're cool going to the Totter Pond place. They're cool they're cool going to the check cashing place. So if you want to live your life out, there was an uproar when they were trying to pass bills to get rid of check cashing places because whether people
Mhm.
know it or not, those are a lot of people's payday loans, like payday
Yep.
loans to check cashing. People really use those as the go between, till they get paid. So people, I mean, I
You
don't know
notice
how
how
you're
the
gonna make.
cops are robbing them in Baltimore. So that cop group, they made this story about what is it? Something that basically was on HBO and was super popular. And they were like, they were robbing people, literally taking cash out of people, probably doing assets forfeiture and telling them to come downtown to find your money. They would go downtown and they go, all the officer took from you was $50. Well, then they would say, bring your bank statement or bring your receipt where you cashed your check at the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cashed them at a bank. They cashed them at corner stores.
Mm-hmm.
So they sitting around with cash, no way to trace it, the corner store ain't giving you a receipt. I mean, they may do some type of receipt, but every time they would go try to say, "Hey, this police officer took this cash from me," they go, "Where's it
Yeah.
at? What's the amount? Where's the receipt?" They had no way to fight it. So, prime example, KD said, "I still have my independent adjuster's license in the Gulf states, and I'm getting calls, and I live in MD. You guys, I so bad want to get an adjuster's license, but I ain't trying to climb on no ladders." And I ain't trying to hear no crazy stories where somebody ain't took a bath in 5 days because they house done fell over. I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that.
I,
I just
I'm
want to pull up,
sorry.
look at the house, write a note, and send it to them. Have a good day, ma'am.
I'm sorry when you were talking earlier. Somebody wrote a comment on Roger Wood with the Captain John.
Mhm.
Roger Wood with that yellow Captain John braid. So that's what people want to do. I'm sorry, that's what I was looking at. And bright and early, y'all don't drunk bright and early. I didn't know Sunny D ain't real orange. Sunny D is not real orange juice
It's
either. I don't
not.
think Capri Sun is not real orange juice, and they giving that to their kids at the little jugs. You going to the country stores like IGA where I'm from, and the kids drinking up that artificial stuff. And you could tell who got a bunch of kids. They would have a bunch of the little things in there that look like the little Mickeys. If anybody, I remember being little at our shop, it was next to a club across the street. And I remember being little picking up the Mickey's green bottles with the gold caps. That's what those little things remind me of. And the kids be running around sticking their finger in it and eating on Vienna sausages and stuff. Y'all don't, I'm going to start talking before I get too country up in here for y'all.
So Sherry said it was actually $800 on Rollerbox, and the crazy part is, as a single mom, one, I want to salute her for having $800 in her account, but two, I'm like, girl, you got to keep that separate from. It shouldn't be like auto save to your phone, but I know people do it all the time. Junior
Mm-hmm.
colleges in Texas have certifications get you working in less than a year for sure. Let me see. 2008 crash convinced my bookkeeping butt to up my skills. How quickly people forget that timeline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing now between I I'm pretty sure we're already in a recession, not as big as it's going to be. It could
Hmm.
get bigger. I'm not a financial analyst, but I just look at the market and they keep raising the Fed interest rates. I mean, it's a good indication of what's going on. Like you were saying, too many people have money, they're still sitting on it, and they're trying to get people to get rid of their money. That's why they keep raising the rates. So poverty is a business, people. They got to have poor people to make money.
Yeah. They have Delta is paying 50K for phone reps. Easy 50K, y'all, but you're gonna hear people when they upset, when they stuck, okay, can't get away with they plane, all that
Oh,
stuff.
especially now. You live in Atlanta. Somebody showed a video on Instagram of the unclaimed luggage from the canceled flights.
Yes.
Oh, I would hate to be a baggage handler.
I'm a landlord with the low income rentals in a regional over a handful of low income complexes. These people about to be in a messed up spot for sure. Well, you can't even get your keys in majority of apartments until you furnish your rental insurance. But if it lapses, they can't kick you out of your apartment for it lapsing. And I'd be like, ooh, that's scary. Because I feel a lot of them people in Atlanta ain't got no insurance. to replace that stuff. Because even when you do a lower income policy where you're doing like 10K, do you know how fast you'll run through 10K once you buy a furniture set, bedroom set, kitchen supplies? You'll run through that 10K like nobody's business. Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah, I just hope the people dancing on the videos don't. A lot of the people they show the Lenox Mall. The mall is a commercial building, so it's a little bit different. You know, they got big time insurance, but you're going to see people now coming with tax time coming up saying, "I had to spend my whole check to refurnish. I lived here and thought I had rental insurance." But you know, a lot of people don't really know how that stuff works. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the stuff flooded. They spent the money and everything, and a lot of people they lost. They're gonna I mean, unfortunate and due to some stuff out of their control, I mean, a lot of people are just going to lose all their furniture and stuff because they can't salvage it. What people don't realize, once a lot of that furniture has been sitting in the water for a couple of days, it's really non-usable. There's
Oh
nothing
yeah,
you
I
can do
mean,
with it.
same thing happened in Houston where they just had all these people where they had to just trunk it, throw it all in the trash, throw it all out. Mattress Mike and all of them making all their money three, four, 5 times over. Um, all right, can you name 3 skills for women that don't want to do manual labor? But before we do that, let me look over this article that I've been having on the screen here. I apologize. 7 careers that Americans don't want to work anymore: sanitation worker,
Can be
nurse.
automated. Can be automated.
90% of nurses have considered quitting for a variety of reasons, including workforce shortages, individual nurses, increased patient loads, administrative burdens, poor communication, general burnout. Truck driver. In many ways, truck driving is great, but they're short 60,000 drivers as of February 2022. The site suggests the pay is not high enough, and many truckers find working conditions to be subpar. Retail workers. We see them food service workers. Educator. These kids ain't about to hit me upside my head, is what these teachers really saying. But they're saying organizations found out that 44% of public schools report teaching vacancies, over half of which were resignations. Why these teachers resigning? They ain't got time to play with your kids. IT
Mm-hmm.
worker, information technology specialists are the people we turn to when our computers, our Wi Fi, or tech isn't working. They are needed in droves as our lives become increasingly more reliant on technology. Unfortunately, there are fewer of them than needed. They cite 2021 report found that 72% of tech workers were thinking of leaving their positions within the next year. Another concern was the lack of career advancement opportunities and flexible work hours.
The reason I picked that article, all of those jobs have one thing in common. They can all be automated.
Mm.
Yeah, every one of those jobs can be automated, from the nurse to the IT person to the truck driver to the sanit. They already automate the sanitation worker. I don't even know why we still have people come by and pick up trash unless you can afford a truck. You know, it has the robotic arm that comes out, and then they have the forks on the big ones. You know, for the commercial stuff. It's very rare you see people going through a neighborhood. It's dangerous for one in the middle of the 5 in the morning with a reflector gear. You know, a lot of those people have gotten killed.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do, we just get a trash truck with a robotic arm. Shoop. You can't be an automated nurse. You can they can automate a lot of the stuff in nursing. I mean, they already do. They already have the machine they tap. For one thing, if you're there at the hospital, they have the machine that checks your blood pressure every 30 minutes. Remember, they used to have somebody come in with a stethoscope in a machine.
Mm-hmm.
They already automated that. They already put the IV in your veins. It can give you the IV, the drip, the saline. It drips down. They already automating it. People, just think about this. They already automating it. It's been there. I thought IT is a good field to get into, but you have to remember a lot of the things people do in IT can be automated. I've talked about it. Cybersecurity, they're using AI to do programming. You have to figure out how to become the subject matter expert in many of these fields so that you do not become obsolete.
Dr.
So
Dix, here's this article. I saw this and I said, let me wrap it up with this one because y'all be some of these were funny and some of these were just like, oh wait, that is a lot of people. Hold on, let me pull this off here. Let me see. Southwest has the bags, they may. Water remediation. Yep. Truck not that trucking shortage is a lie. There's more parking shortage for truckers, right? Let me see. The kids at school bad as hell, spawns of Satan. I keep telling people, if you're a teacher, what you notice is the crop of children you're looking at are the the result of several generations of people who, one, look at school as a babysitting service, look at school somewhere to drop the kids off. Don't you challenge them? Don't you ask them to look at this homework? Don't you look again? You couldn't pay me to be a nurse right now unless it was a private school where people are paying. Because even if they're paying, yeah, they're gonna be little brats too. But there's a difference. There's a dollar amount. There's some like parent there that's gonna be like, hey, I'm paying $20K a year for this private school. Somebody better tell me something. There's gonna be more accountability. So that's
Mhm.
kind of the thought process there. But let me get on this last one. It says 14 struggles of the eternally unprepared person. When you leave the house, you bring bare minimum. Okay, number two, your closet contains everyday basics. You don't have any attire for special events. Going to a wedding, you rent fancy clothes. Why bother keeping them around, taking up space? A lot of that, people. Your proper apartment is not properly equipped with normal adult necessities.
Mm.
Other people need to take care of you when you're sick. Being adult is just not your thing. You don't like planning ahead. Winging it is your plan A. If you forget an assignment at school or work, you bank on the leniency of the superiors. Packing is totally easy. You bring a toothbrush and a change of clothes, buy everything else. Your best friend is the mom of the group. She got a purse filled with extras. You've forgotten essentials like a wallet, transportation ticket, or your phone too many times to count. You unexpectedly going home with someone for the night never really works out for you. Making reservations is a foreign concept to you. Your friends will make sure that you have everything you need when you go out the night with them, and you still forget your shit. You have gotten by this far, life this far. And the article, the joke at the end says you'll be fine. So listen, I thought this article was a little funny, but at the end of the day, like there is a degree of winging it in life where we just kind of have to learn as we go. But that should not be your forever plan A. If you guys know me right now, I can pull up my calendar on my phone and I have tentatively, doesn't always mean guaranteed, but it's tentatively planned activities all the way to November next year. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed. It's just tentatively planned. I will talk to people all the time like, oh, I can't pre-buy plane tickets. I can't pre-buy anything because I just don't know where I'm going to be next year. And I go, how is that possible? You have no clue where you're going to be next year. Even if you don't know where you're going to be next year, is there a tentative plan you're following that if things go right, go left, I can change it as needed? There's something to be said for you get to a certain age, you just can't wing it forever, right? So oh, somebody said that the Delta thing they see is 15.76 an hour. Ooh, they can have that.
Ooh, Lord, dealing with ooh, boy, that's a job I would
They
not
said,
want
is this
to
pre-recorded?
have.
No, it's not pre-recorded. We're actually right here live.
Who asked
Come on
that?
now. Some people just the internet. Okay, IT infrastructure side networking starts at 65,075. Windows administration 75 to 90. Linux administration 90K to 115,000. AWS 120,000. Become a SME. They
Yeah.
demanded $15 during the recession and essentially fired themselves. That's my number one thing. I never fire anybody. They fire themselves. People fire themselves out of your life, out of situations, and these people about to fire themselves out of a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about to be sitting at home in 2023. We can call it the Jordan year all you want to. A lot of y'all, I'll tell y'all, boy, it's just think about when the pipes froze, how dramatic that was just now. Just think about the preparedness that we all try to do. I tried, everybody else tried to do it too. Just think about how things just changed in a moment. And if you didn't have a backup plan or whatnot, I was prepared. I'm like, I just hope the pipes don't bust in the house. If something happens, I'll go to a hotel. If the water didn't unfreeze for a day or so, I would have just said I'll go to a hotel or tough it out because I had plenty of bottled water or whatnot. But
Hmm.
I just want people to just remember, try your best to be prepared. Like I said, the people in Atlanta and New York, they did all they could. There was not much they could really do. But now the thing is, I don't think it's funny. Like some of the people are trying to get TikTok views and like, oh, I'm sliding. There's water in my apartment. You might not be able to live back in your apartment till the spring or the summer. You
Hmm.
might not even live back in that apartment anymore.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. So,
But then again, it goes to what, Dr. Dix? We're talking about credit. We're talking about having access to credit, right? Credibility, we
Hmm.
talk about that. We talk about also having skills. Let's say you don't have credit. Do you have a
Hmm.
skill that can put money in your pocket tomorrow if you needed it, right? A lot of these people that apartments are gone to poop, will they be
Hmm.
able to move to another apartment? Have they been current on their rent, right? The pandemic, right? A lot of people didn't pay their rent, and now if they try to move, they're going to have a problem. So,
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Some
right,
people it's gonna be a blessing in disguise, cause a blessing in
break their
disguise,
lease.
cause you're gonna break your lease and you're gonna come out better. It's just like when Katrina happened. Majority of the people when the stuff happened in Katrina ended up 50 times better. They were able to
Oh
get out of
yeah.
New Orleans and
Move
start
move
back
out of New
over.
Orleans, start a new life, go somewhere different. A lot of them. Their kids went to better schools, had better outcomes.
Yep.
So for sure, for sure. All right, Dr. Dix, where can they find you on the internets and the interwebs and also on the streets? Didn't you just do an interview with a rapper? Weren't you out there with the rappers on the podcast somewhere?
Yeah, I did an interview with Young Jock. You know, it's going down. If y'all old enough to remember that song from 2005, 2006, the motorcycle dance. and
Once Tom Cruise did it, it was dead. It was like everybody stop. No more
and
motorcycle dance.
the motorcycle dance and Shorty the rapper and Miss Shanique. I did an interview. We're waiting on the recording, and I released the photos today of the interview I filmed for PBS. That 18 to 54 million people will see a month. That's the reach of PBS. I filmed it for the Chavis Chronicles, and it will be airing March 2023. So if you're listening now, go to the King of Automation and follow me on LinkedIn. Not follow me on LinkedIn. Follow me on Instagram, the King of Automation. Just go ahead and send me a request on LinkedIn, Dr. Patrick Dix. Send me a message. That's where you can find me. Because this is the last show for this year I'll be doing with Ericka. You know, I'm around, but it's
If y'all
sad to
have
say.
enjoyed the show with me and Dr. Diggs, drop a one in the comments. Let us know. Let us
It's
know if you've
sad.
enjoyed the series.
It's sad to say, and I think 3 to 4 days it'll be 2023, and it's like 2022 is just here.
Mhm. Yeah, they said some in New Orleans wanted the projects reopened. Nope. New Orleans was like, no, we good. We're good. So if you guys have enjoyed the shows, definitely leave comments after we rendered the show. If you guys want Dr. Dix back on in the future, let us know because honestly, you guys, the spring, I done got it charted out. I'm gonna be on the road. We're gonna have a lot of work we're doing, but I'm excited to bring you guys quality guests, quality people who come and make it happen. If you guys want to book a call with Dr. Dix, it's always in the chat. It's always in the listing. We're also going to pin it to the top comment after this video renders, and we're going to email our 15,000 people on the email list. Somebody already said, "Bring him back." Bring him back. They in the
Uh,
comments.
that, that sound like the that made me think of the Manny Fresh and Juvenile song.
Bring
Bring
him
it
back.
back.
Bring it back. So, Dr. Dix, thank you for enlightening us. You are tell them where they can find you on Instagram again. Tell them again.
King of Automation on Instagram and on LinkedIn, Dr. Patrick Dix. And I want to wish everybody a happy 2023. If you hadn't got your life together by now, the resolution stuff is old. I mean, you should have been had a plan together. You know, let's just keep it 100.
Listen, if you didn't get the Erica Williams planner, soft reset. Get your planner, man. Listen, Dr. Dix and me are gonna walk about. I think he has a we're gonna try to figure it out how to bring him back, and also we'll also get him to help y'all with some of your tech questions. He has a calendar link. Don't forget to hit the link. Book your time with Dr. Dix. He is available. Anyways, you guys, this is your girl Erica from the Classic Climb blog. Dr. Dix, tell him later.
See y'all later. Y'all have a good, happy, and safe new year.
Okay, hold on, Dr. Dix.